It's the action artist. Hey, what's up, YouTube? Just banging out more of my comic book. I pretty much have the first issue done now. It's just piecing it all together, and I have no viewers right now, but this is just me making videos, so I really don't care. But look at that. There it is. There's the suit. Check it out. His head is down. You can't even tell. Like, you see, like, his head is down. There's the there's the what do you call that again? I keep forgetting. Bayonet. He's got a bayonet on his helmet, and he's looking down, so you can see like the little bubble. You can see like the little bubble where one camera is, and then you can see like that big, basically this thing here. So I got his head down, so he's hitting the concrete. I started putting in the, the little chips of concrete coming up. There'll be some dust, a little bit of dust, not a lot, because, it's not like a car fell off the roof or something. So I'm really, I got him putting his helmet back on. So here he is. That was hard to draw because it's very small. Look at how small it's, like the size of my thumb. But yeah, you see him up there. Looks all crazy, looking like a weird one-eyed, like, robot or something. And he's and there's dialogue, and it's about how the dialogue is about how he wasn't born on another planet with a different color sun. He didn't get caught up in any crazy science experiments. He doesn't have a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? He, there's nothing like, there's nothing really super about him except that he has an incredibly strong will, and he has incredible faith in God, and he's a brilliant engineer, but he's not Tony Stark, And then, so I wanted to start out because it starts out kind of boring, and but I figured, a good way for a splash page, it doesn't have to be action packed because we don't know who this hero is yet, and nothing has quite transpired yet. And where I'm starting in the storyline, I'm not. In other words, like, there's no villains. I haven't established any villains, anything, and I don't want to just have you open the first issue, first page, splash page, and there's like this arbitrary guy just like knocking out, or somebody flying through a window or something. Not yet, because nothing has happened yet. So I figured the other way to do a splash page is to have something very interesting, like something weird. And I figure that is very weird. Like, you'll see the moon and you'll just see this weird, almost like a robot looking face. And he's just finished this helmet because the helmet was probably one of the most, complicated parts of the suit. And then then you get a little more information. You see that it's something perched on a roof. And then he's talking about, like I said, he doesn't have any, it just basically talks about how it just says basically, I wasn't born on another, he wasn't born on another planet. He wasn't caught in a weird science experiment or bitten by a radioactive bug. He wasn't this, he wasn't that, he didn't have a lot of money. and then it says something like he had everything, he had everything he ever loved taken away from him or something like that. And that's, something to that effect might be, I'm just kind of, I'm going to script this out, but I'm just right now just kind of developing the entire thing in my head. And so then, like I said, then you find out it's human. This is where you find out it's human. You know what I mean? Maybe it could say here something like, you know, he had everything he ever, you know, loved taken away from him or something like that. So then it continues. I had this roughed out before, but it was pretty bad. So you're going to see a downward view of him, you know, up here on the ledge. He's standing up. He's putting his helmet on. Down here, you'll see like a concrete parking lot about 3-4 stories down. And he's just kind of testing. He's testing out his suit, making sure it's all functioning, right? So then he just kind of literally dives off the roof of the building. He's like in an abandoned. He's in like an abandoned, like, you know, uh, old like parking lot near some railroad tracks or something. You know what I mean? Somewhere where he's like squatting basically. And then you see him. He twists in the air. You know what I mean? And then bang, he lands down there. And you see he's got guns. Look at, he's got hardware like guns. He's got guns on this wrist. In this wrist, there's mace and tasers. You know, another thing about his suit is like, you know, there's all kinds of it's like everything just works all together. The accessories and everything are built pretty much right into it. And then I got a little further, and then you see him bird's eye view walking towards like a broken window. I'll show like broken glass on the ground and garbage and a pile of stuff around. And he's holding his helmet. I'll show him with his helmet off again. And then you see him climbing in that window once again, holding his helmet. Then he's like coming into the room where he's squatting. Maybe I'll put some cobwebs in the corners or something up in the corner or something like that. It's just a place. It's not his permanent, you know, domain or whatever. And then right here, I didn't draw it because this is pretty easy. This panel is just going to be him pouring some coffee, and he's thinking about how he needs milk, and he has to go to the store basically, you know, and he's drinking it black, and yeah, basically. Then you see him putting on his jacket, and then I might show like a silhouette of him walking down some stairs in this panel right here. I haven't quite figured it out. And that's how that's going. It's pretty cool. I'm just showing you. And how many pages do I have here? So this isn't the cover in the back. I'll probably do some art, you know, for the back too. And there's a PayPal below. Yeah, Comicsgate is a big thing, and that this is my comic book is flying in the face of that. And you know, I hear a lot of talk about social justice warriors, and the people that are doing this are not social justice warriors. They are, a lot of them are a bunch of rich kids that hate this country, and it's impossible to not be political, pretty much. You know what I mean? And everybody's going to have a gripe. And when I say things like, you know, if you don't like my comic, don't buy it, I mean as in, you know, I'm gonna do what I want to do. You know what I mean? And if a fan makes a good suggestion, you know what I mean? Of course, I'm gonna be like, that's a great suggestion. You know what I mean? I'm not like, I'm coming off as being a real hard ass, but that's because Americans' priorities seem to be all out of whack, and you know, and people that only are just only taking care of your family and yourself first. That's very important. But you know, that's kind of, you know, basically, you know, that's all. What I'm trying to say is, like, you know, if you're profiting off of Comicsgate, and you should be able to profit, you know, don't do the same things, or don't be a hypocrite, basically. You know what I'm saying? Don't do the same things that the SJWs have done in the industry, which is, you know, have a stranglehold over, like, you know, what I'd like to do is actually start a magazine and have that magazine promote, like, basically almost only independent artists. You know what I mean? and whether I like your work or not, you know what I mean. I might make some suggestions and help you fix some things. You know what I'm saying, or have a team of people like make some suggestions or help you fix a few things or whatever. You know what I mean. I'm not going to change your whole premise or anything, but you know what I mean. I'll let people, as long as you're not sending me pure smut, like just explicit stuff that's should be in like Hustler magazine or something like that. I'm probably I'll probably I'm just saying we should feature independent artists. There's a lot of good independent artists, and just have where we can have them turn in a few pages and have a storyline premise and let fans review that type of stuff. You know what I mean? So that, because you never know, like something that you don't like could get super popular. You know what I mean? And it's like it's not all about me. You know what I'm saying? Although I want a piece of the pie too. I'm just saying, like, right now there's no. It's like, oh, here, I want everybody to succeed, and by everybody, in other words, like I hear things like, well, I want everybody to succeed, and when I mean everybody, I'm going to pick and choose who I want, who I think is okay, and they're going to be all endorsed people. Oh, okay. You know what I mean? That's really mighty kind of you. You know what I mean? In other words, somebody needs to make a channel for non-endorsed people. I know people that are so talented with a little bit of direction and help. They might not be perfect, but there's no real what would you call it, like pipeline. There's no real pipeline for comic art. It's getting big now. I notice all of a sudden, like I basically came out and I basically trolled Ethan Van Sciver and all these other guys, and I was like, you guys are just complaining and you're not doing anything. And they're like, oh, let me fix that. And then they started doing something. And now, because I'll tell you right now, if they didn't, I was ready to be like, all right, I'm going to show everybody, I'm going to do a comic book in front of everybody, you know what I mean, and show everybody how to do a comic start to finish, because there's people doing anatomy, there's guys getting on here, they're just drawing in front of you, they're not really explaining anything. There's guys getting on here that that are doing like 1 week, they're like, oh, I'm going to show you how to do an arm and I'm going to show, like I'm trying to, or I'm getting on here and like showing the complete process of doing a comic book from beginning to end. You know what I mean? And because that needs to be done, and if nobody else was going to do it, but now it's like now all of a sudden now, like right as soon as I come on YouTube under hashtag comics and Comicsgate and comic books, other people are doing that, and that's fine. I don't need to be the one to do it. I saw something, someplace to help out and capitalize on, and I just came in and was like, hey, I'm going to do this. Maybe I shouldn't have announced it, but whatever. I don't care, as long as it's getting done. And I when I say that I'm a good person, I don't mean I'm a good person like I just want to make people happy with my comic books. A lot of artists want to make people happy with their comic books, and that's fine too. I mean, when I say I'm a good person, I mean that I've spent a lot of my time and energy trying to fight what the SJWs have ruined in our country, which is like the family court system. Like, basically I've come on here and said I'm a father who's paid child support, hasn't seen my kid in 15 years, and the mother on record has abused my kids, and nobody cares. Nobody cares. And all the people are that like, I want everybody to succeed, aren't like, really? You've paid child support and haven't seen your kids in 15 years? Because if it can be done to me, it can be done to somebody else, right? And just because it's not being done to somebody like, I don't want to say their names, the people that I've mentioned in my videos, just all the people that I'm mentioning in my videos, just because it hasn't happened to them, they're like, oh, well, I did, because of they're one of the tiny fractions of fathers that have maintained any kind of relationship with their children, on maybe unhindered. I don't know. It could be all just PR. I see them with their kids. I don't know what goes on behind the scenes. You know what I'm saying? Most families I know, the father can say whatever he wants when the wife's not around, but when the wife comes around, they shut their mouths. They're just like, yeah, and then, oh, okay, yeah, and their wife says something, and they do it. So, I don't want to hear, my point being is, fathers have no pull. You know what I mean? That's like that T-shirt that EVS put out, "Go Get Daddy's Belt." The reason he put that out is because he's trying to trigger the SJWs, because it's been you can't, if you you can have your kids taken away from you basically now just for yelling at them, or you know what I mean, or you can get in trouble now. It doesn't matter if you have a good cause, like you're concerned about their welfare, you know what I mean, or whatever. So my point being is, when I say, and I'm getting back to what I'm talking about because I have to preface it first, because I feel like, I've spent a lot of my time trolling, getting the message out there in forums, when somebody's like, just assumes when some guy snaps because his wife took everything from him and took his kids, and nobody cared. And the guy finally snaps and he goes and retaliates against his wife, and it's in an article. And then I go in the article and they're just like, oh, he's a scumbag and he's a piece of shit. Da, 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 da. I go in those forums and I say the unpopular thing is, no, she was abusing his kids, and she took says here in the article, she basically took took out his kids away from him, and that goes on a lot now, and that's why we have a fatherless problem, and that's the quote social justice warriors have the feminists have feminized the family courts, so that especially in out of wedlock births, and then people are like, oh, well, then keep your dick in your pants. Oh, well, it's never said keep your vagina in your pants. It's just keep your dick in your pants, and it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if a kid is born out of wedlock. It's really nobody. It's both people's faults, which means it's essentially it's essentially nobody's faults. It's both people's faults. I mean, you can't blame one or the other. Basically, the point is now the kid's born, so you don't punish the kid by. And basically, what I'm trying to say what I'm trying to say is, nobody cares about kids because they don't care about fathers. If you don't care about I'd have to say nowadays, if you don't care about the fatherless situation, then you're hard. Then I guess maybe you're nice. I guess I would say you're blind. You have no idea how bad single parent homes are ruining children, and by single parent homes I mean single mother homes. Single mother homes are ruining children. And do I mean men are perfect? No. I mean women cannot handle raising kids without the father present, and it often, like in my children's case, leads to abuse. So I've been spending like 15 years talking about this in forums. You know what I mean? Like, why is it not 50-50 custody? Why don't we have default 50-50 custody in out of wedlock births? Why are all the laws why are most of the laws? I think it was Kentucky, just recently. Kentucky, some backwards ass southern state that nobody ever even hears. Maybe I should move to Kentucky because they just recently passed a law that in all custody battles from the get-go default are 50-50. That means the father has equal custody. And I hope they also mean that both parents have to pay child support. Both parents, not just the father. You don't just always have the father. You don't just hand the kids over to the mothers and have the fathers pay child support. This is a real issue I'm talking about. And if you're not listening, then I don't know tell me what issue is more important. Write down in the comments what issue is more important than children not seeing their fathers, than the fatherless issue. And that's caused by tell me how feminism has not destroyed the image of fathers and uplifted the image of mothers. And tell me why. If you don't agree with me, tell me why you don't agree. All you people out there, tell me why you don't agree with me below. I want to hear why you don't agree with me instead of just ignoring me, because that makes me know that I'm right. Because I've already won this battle in the arena, in the men's rights arena. I would say that I single-handedly on dating forums, on InfoWars, which is a huge forum, and on YouTube, all the big YouTube channels within the last 10 years, I single-handedly have triggered. I can show you all my debates. I would say I single-handedly am one of the biggest people on the forefront of going in and trolling and just cause. I mean, I can show you debates where I go into forums and like 30 people and I just ripped 13 people a new butthole. And by the end of the I basically have them defending or not mentioning or ignoring. I'll be like, well, so you agree with that children should be alienated from their fathers then, and they just, you know what I mean? They'll just be like, you're a scumbag, you're a piece of shit, you need to shut up, you're a loser. And I'll be like, so you agree then? You agree that children should be abused and that through fatherhood alienation then? And they just won't. You know what I'm saying? So I can show you where I've triggered thousands of people. I can literally show you in the past 15 years, I've conservatives and liberals. Not just liberals, by the way, conservatives and liberals I've triggered. You know what I mean? And what I propose to do is I'm going to have an account and I'm going to show the balance of my account for my comic book. I'm going to show the balance. I'm going to show you what my money goes to, basically. So I'm going to be accountable to you guys, to anybody that helps me. And and if you want to help me, it's in the description below. Basically, I have a PayPal. It's for my other channel, and nobody wants to debate. Nobody wants to debate me on the father issue. Everybody wants to ignore me, huh? And then say what good people they are. Let me see something real quick. Nobody wants to debate me on the fatherless issue. Ethan, they'll all ignore me. They're going right now. Say it right now. And Ethan Mans or Umbrella Guy's going right now. I'm gonna say it right now. None of the so-called conservatives want to even debate me on the fatherless issue and how the SJWs have ruined or have feminized the family courts, so women get control of most. I'll just say feminize the family courts, not just comic books. And it concerns me that YouTubers don't care about kids. It's all about money. I'm being totally ignored. Yep, I'm podcasting about it now, man. Nobody will even nobody wants to talk about it on their show. You know why? Because everybody knows. Umbrella Guy. I'm gonna call everybody out. Umbrella Guy, and I'm not doing this to be mean. I'm trying to show everybody. I'm lifting the curtain. Uh, you know, nobody wants to, or all these guys know that if you start talking about fathers' rights, you will lose. You know what I mean? If you start talking about how children don't have fathers because of the feminized courts, man, you might even get your channel. You'll probably start getting strikes against your channel. You'll start getting, like me, you'll get censored. You know what I mean? So people seem to be afraid to even talk about the issue. To even talk about the issue. You know, I've been or every if these guys don't know by now that I'm a single father who's paid support for two abused kids for 15 years and have never met them, they're whining about being attacked by SJWs. That's the thing. They're whining about being attacked by SJWs. You know what I mean? These people are complaining about being attacked by SJWs. Their biggest complaint is that, they'll cry about some SJWs attacking them in the media, though. Have a good day, people. There, I just wrote that, and yeah, I just basically said, they'll complain, like people will literally cry, they'll come on like, oh, the SJWs attacked us and da 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 da, but you come on and start saying, hey, I'm just talking, I'm showing you the priorities of this country. I'm just showing you the priorities. I'm being a mirror. I'm mirroring what's going on to you people. And that's enough of that. I just want to bring that up because I don't understand what the big holdup is in this country. I emailed a couple people Yellow Flash. If Yellow Flash or the Umbrella Guy, if you guys I've emailed you, and I'm wondering what you don't like about me as a comic book artist, or if you could have me on your show, or instead of just ignoring me, I'm wondering if you do ignore me, that's fine. I don't really care. I'm just gonna go my way. But I'm a conservative. I'm a real conservative. I don't just go, oh, I voted for Trump. I'm a real conservative, as I have been debating SJW. I've been trying to raise awareness about fatherlessness in the feminized courts. You know what I mean? I don't just my actions match my words. You know what I'm saying? That's all. I think people are threatened by that or something. My actions match my words. I don't need a safe space. I'm not a social justice warrior in the sense that I'm not a mask wearing Antifa where I'm going to go beat up an old man because he disagrees with me. But I am going to say to other conservatives, what makes you so conservative? Or you say like, oh, you call the liberals libtards, and then you whine that they attack you. But then another conservative person comes along that's like, yeah, the SJWs have destroyed the court system, And you know, I've been fighting that, and I pay child support, haven't seen my kids in 15 years, and I know scores of other guys that have barely been able to see their kids, and the mothers are no better than them, by the way. It's all about money from just the courts making money off the child support. They get a percentage. And you know, if they hand the kids over to the mother and make the father pay support, then you know what I mean. Then they make money basically. And so you know, a guy like me comes along and then they ignore me. That's wicked conservative. So they're not real conservatives. These are not real conservatives. These are people that these are people that are. I have nothing against them. I'm just letting you know, if you're a real conservative and you want to back a real conservative individual, I am a real conservative individual, and I actually do things that back up my words. I don't just go around being like, "Oh yeah, I'm a conservative because I say so, and I'm a really nice person because I say so." And then and then like you know, somebody needs help, and I'm like, "Oh, good luck. Oh, you haven't seen your kids in 15 years. Oh, good luck with that. Get away. Oh, get away from me." You know what I mean? It is weird. It is a weird phenomena, and it makes me think that people just don't like kids. I guess people don't like children and don't want children to see their fathers. This girl that I know in this apartment complex, we'll talk about this stuff, and she'll be like, "Down with the patriarchy, down with it," but in the next breath she'll be like, "Well, no, I know what they're doing to fathers," or you know what I mean, or you know, your situation as a father is bad. You can't make this stuff up, man. And then I'll be like, yeah, well, you know what they're doing. It's not just me. They're doing it to fathers. And she'll go, no, well, no, they're doing it to women and men. And I'm like, no, more women have custody of children than fathers. And she will just go, you just don't, she'll just not, she won't answer that. She won't engage that question and speak to that question. This is the same thing that's going on here with the conservatives. She'll go, well, you just won't accept that it's just general corruption. And I'll say, no, I know about general corruption. And I'm saying, I'm talking about mothers and fathers. And when it comes to mothers and fathers, there's more fathers who aren't allowed for whatever reason. That it's not even usually a good reason. No, it's usually nothing that women leave men for things that they already knew about the guy when they had a kid with him, and then they go, oh, well, now it's a problem. He drinks. She can drink too. That doesn't matter, by the way. He drinks and and I think he's an alcoholic. I drink and I'm not an alcoholic, but he drinks and he is an alcoholic. You know, that type of stuff. You know, that's the type of stuff that goes on, and nobody wants to admit that. Where the mother a lot of times does the same thing or worse. Like maybe the guy drinks you know, every day. Maybe he comes home from work every day and has a couple beers, 2, 3 beers. But you know, then the mother will go take the kid and go on POF and bring, you know, 7 guys from, you know, plenty POF home. You know what I'm saying, in front of the kids. You know what I mean? Which is, I mean, you know what I mean. So they got their issues too, but that's because of the guy. You know, their problems are because of the man. This is what's all been done to fathers. Everything is blamed on the fathers, and the children are suffering. The kids in America are suffering for it, and I bring it up, and everyone's like, "Ooh, good luck with that." So whatever, you know what I mean? You know, I guess there's no conservatives in America. There's no conservatives in this country. I don't know what to say. Uh, it's incredible. Yeah. So basically, I'm not. For now, I'm just gonna start with a PayPal. So anybody who wants to donate to a alternative comic that's not been um, uh, Comicsgate needs more original ideas too. By the way, that's another problem. Is we've got a Captain America type character coming out, and we got a GI Joe type group coming out. It's just if, if you want, I'm trying to do something absolutely different, like completely different, and you know what I mean? Like that's completely, it's basically completely different. Look at that suit. It's coming out pretty cool, huh? I'm just going to keep growing my channel on my own. And I guess, there'll be no help for single fathers, man, from the bigger YouTube channels. It's incredible. It's like people are just all about money, I guess, and their own egos, man. It's incredible. But we'll see. I mean, I'm daring Umbrella Guy. I'm daring you, all you guys, to have me on your show and talk about Nutjob and talk about the fatherless situation. It should get tons of views, man. I don't see about how talking about how children in this country are being alienated from their fathers, and about my story as a father. I don't see how that couldn't get how that couldn't get tons of views, And if anybody wants to challenge me or debate me on it, or does anybody want to debate about it, or do you think, or does anybody, nobody wants to comment on, nobody wants to comment on it or anything? I'm hoping that people have enough decency to, I'm trying to garner support for an independent comic book. It's not Captain America. It's not, you know what I mean? It's not, you know what I'm saying? It's like a completely original idea. There's not a lot out there like this. You know what I mean? It might touch on, it's hard to do something absolutely original, but it's hard to, do anything that doesn't touch on some things here and there. Like basically, I'm going to show some Spider-Man type action. You know what I mean? The suit allows him to do. He's not nearly as strong or as ridiculous as Spider-Man, but yeah, he's the suit basically. He has where I put it on the other. Where's the other copy of this page that I? I'm gonna get talking about my comic now. I got people just when people are ready to be mature and actually engage, and speak to what I'm talking about, how much damage the SJWs have done to the family. It's incredible, and it's not turning around really. I mean, I've heard a few things here and there, but I don't think it's turning around fast enough. Trying to find the original page, but basically he has these ankle joints that have like hydraulic, built in. Okay, no, here it is right there. You can see in this picture right there. basically this foot is out, and you can see, or towards you, you know what I mean? This foot is back. You can see his boots have like these ankle mechanisms, which have like springs and hydraulics in his boots a little bit, so he can basically land without, you know, busting it. And there's like a frame, you know what I mean, around, you know, that is in joints and stuff like that, motorized joints inside his suit that he engineered basically, so he can like literally, you know, come down from like 30-40 feet in the air like this and land right on concrete basically. It's pretty cool. If anybody has any critiques or suggestions, I'd be happy to you know, hear them too, by the way. So what's on the next page here? The next page is I already think I have it started somewhere. Next page is just kind of him. I'm going to start sketching it right here just because. It's amazing, man. You know, what I have seen and what I've been through, man. I don't understand how people don't see that the family courts, you know, have just decimated fathers, man. It's incredible. That's basically the tale of this guy. This guy, you know, I'm not going to show like every father being a great guy. You know what I mean? I'm going to show all kinds of stuff. I'm not saying that this is, you know, don't make no mistake. This isn't just about single fathers. You know what I mean, or something like that. This is like this is an action-packed comic, and unlike a lot of people's superheroes, my superhero doesn't have to wait very long for anything to happen because he's fighting the feminized courts. But you know, and it's a little more than just, you know, basically there's Satanists running, you know, there's demonic people from other, you know, some aren't even human, they're like possessed, and that gets into his like equipment and stuff. Basically the whole shape-shifting phenomena, if you I think is very interesting. I don't know that I necessarily believe it's actual real shapeshifters. Oh, I forgot to put that in the I'm going to start putting shape-shifting in there to get the you know, those the people from those channels on board, because yeah, basically yeah, that gets into his equipment and like the whole shape-shifting phenomena, which, and he kind of discovers it by accident. He just installs the cameras at first to you know, to document things, and then later he's looking at the footage and he sees like these weird and what he thinks are anomalies. But then he like, oh, by the way, one of the things too is Nutjob is going to be a team now, I think. I forgot to say that. Like, he collects samples and stuff, and he has another tech guy. he's always on intercom, by the way, with like a tech guy, and they talk back and forth, and the tech guy helps him out, and you know, kind of like the lone gunman type of team, you know what I mean? And then there's also a doctor that takes care of him, or maybe even a female, and you know what I mean? And like and basically you know, because unlike SJWs, you know, I'm not gonna, unlike what SJWs have done to comics, I'm not gonna like show everything all one way. You know what I mean? There's gonna be a variety. You know, I'm gonna have some cool women in my comic books, by the way. But yeah, so Nutjob is kind of a team of and you know, he's just the one that he wears the suit. He starts the whole thing, but then later on some other people join him because it's inevitable. He like does make some allies, and I don't know if I'm going to introduce him right away. I probably won't introduce him right away, but he eventually sees these anomalies, and then he like meets some, you know, he runs them by some people that he knows, and like, you know, he finds more of it like on from footage from like the mainstream media. And this is my, if you just tuned in, this is my character Nut Job. This is my comic book Nut Job that I'm talking about. It gets into some very esoteric stuff. And so yeah, and they eventually figure out that it's not anomalies. It's like impossible for it to be anomalies, that there's actual, some kind of shape shifting going on. And that they're dealing with entities that aren't necessarily human. I don't know why it's like I'm not, or I guess you're not allowed to have a real political agenda. You know what I mean? Uh, like I have an actual real cause, and people are threatened by that. I don't understand. You know, people seem to be really threatened by it. I don't understand what the problem is. You know, nobody want people. It's if it's used as a if it's used against me that I'm on here talking about fatherlessness, man. Boy, I'll tell you, this country's gone. This country's gone. Sucks. I hope I can find some people, some men out there, some comic book fans out there that understand what I'm talking about, that have been through it. There must be guys out there that read comics that have been through what I'm talking about with the courts. You know what I mean? So I got him. So I'm starting. I got a profile view of him walking right here. I'm just roughing this out. This is all. This is like a thumbnail. I'm gonna blow this up after, and all right. Just drinking some coffee here. So So he's wearing the armor under his under this big coat and these baggy pants, kind of like baggy work jeans. Makes him look bulky, so I gotta draw him looking, you know, very bulky, basically. It feels good that I'm on the right side, that I know what I'm talking about. You know, I feel bad for this country, that this country's going to crash. You know, this country's going to crash. Sad. I'm gonna, you know, this country is hopeless. I feel bad for the. I feel bad. I really don't even consider this America anymore. You know, if the when if with you know the way children are treated in this country, I don't even consider it America anymore. It's horrible. You know, the way just the way they're, because the way children are alienated from their fathers in this country cannot sustain itself. You know what I mean? It just can't sustain itself, and nobody wants to talk about it. Even not, you know, and I'm not even allowed to bring it up, like in the arena of Comicsgate, where we're supposedly against SJW's sabotaging everything. You know what I mean? And it's like I don't understand. I don't understand. You know what? You know how that's how that's conservative. Somebody's got to explain that to me. You know. My point is, if nobody can tell me my art sucks and I don't know what I'm doing, then pretty much that's the only reason. That's the only If that's the only reason that you know, I become some kind of a, you know, that I develop some kind of stigma, then I guess I'll have to wear that reason like a badge of honor, man. Because God knows that I'm trying to do the right thing. You know, praise God. Thank you, Father. Thank you, Father, for everything you do for me. Okay, there he is. So there he is walking, right? And I'm going to show, I don't have to show the whole thing because it's hard to draw anyway, but I'll draw like a police car. So he's thinking about how his coffee's black and he needs creamer. He needs milk or creamer or something. Where is this page? Whatever, I'll do it from scratch. So, viewers here. Doing like a quick horizon line with a 1-point perspective. So his feet will be about here. His waist is here. So see, I'm doing like a quick 1-point perspective. There's his waist. And so now I'm going to say that, you know, the SUV would be, you know, basically up to here, like, you know, here. So he's a pretty tall guy, so maybe up to here. So yeah, I'll just Maybe the hood would be about to his waist. Right. And so foreshortening a car right now so you can see. I'm going to show you as I do this. There you go. There's an SUV a little up the road from him. Not the best at drawing cars, man. I'd like to see a lot of these professional artists draw cars more. It's got to be wider. Made it too narrow. Back. All right. So you can see I'm roughing in an SUV type thing here, little by little, you know, just line by line. I saw Todd McFarlane, this kid. That's funny. I saw Todd McFarlane, this kid, sent him a picture that his father drew, and it was really good of Spawn. I mean, it was really good, and he was like, "You gotta let my." This is what I'm talking about these pros, man. He's like, "You gotta let my father do a cover of Spawn." And Todd McFarlane just went, "Thanks, kid. Just thanks, kid." That's it. Didn't say, "Oh, well, maybe we'll arrange that." This is the type of stuff I'm talking about. No, kid. Your father will not be endorsed. Your father, no matter how good he is, your dad will not do the cover of Spawn because he's not endorsed. That's what I'm talking about. There's something going on. It might be Masons. Like Ethan Van Sciver might be a Mason. All these people might be Masons. I don't know, man. There's something weird going on, and I'm just saying. Oh, you're sounding conspiratorial. Well, I just don't see like I can show you the picture that this kid's father did of Spawn. It was pretty kick-ass. I think it needed maybe a little bit of help, but I heard Todd McFarlane say one time on video. Todd McFarlane said, "You don't have to send me the whole picture. I can figure it out. You don't got to send me a completely detailed picture. Trust me." He's like, I just send me the gist of it, and I can figure it out. From there. Like he meant literally just like this type stuff, like scribbles, and and then this kid's father sends him like a completely done picture of Spawn chopping this monster's head chopped off, and it was like super detailed. It was all cool. I was like, damn. And the kid's like, yeah. I love you, Todd McFarlane. I'm a big fan of Spawn. You got to let my father do a cover for Spawn. And it was just, thanks, kid. That was it. and the kid posted the picture, and I screenshotted it because I was like, that is just hilarious. Just ignore it. Don't answer. Don't speak to it. They find ways. These people, these famous people, find ways to not address certain things and certain issues, and it's just like, you know what I mean, and only endorse other people that are already endorsed. And I don't understand what's going on. Like it's a clique or something. Why does everything have to be a clique? It's hilarious. Any input from anybody out there? Am I paranoid? It's not a clique. You know what I mean? Like there's there's a I'm telling you, man. It's just hilarious. I almost had to laugh, but at the same time, it's just sad. It's like, no, kid, your father will not do the cover of Spawn because he's not endorsed. Todd McFarlane's a great guy, though. He cares. He wants everybody to succeed. Todd McFarlane wants everybody to succeed. You didn't know that? I love making fun of these guys. It's hilarious. And if you're like, well, now you'll never get hired. Trust me. I was never going to be endorsed from the get-go. I was never going to be endorsed from the get-go. Don't try to use me. Don't try to use me being. I was a good guy with a good attitude for a long time. I had a quote good attitude for a long time, and it did nothing. Did nothing. So let's make no mistake about that. Let's make no mistake about that. Let me see something. I'm gonna edit. I'm gonna go to events. Yeah, no, nobody's gonna say like, oh, hey. The conservatives they're still going. It'll be like the conservatives are gatekeeping right now. The conservatives are gatekeeping right now. Someone tell me how the gatekeepers. I'm like literally in the chat right now. The conservative there's no channel for I want to do a magazine that helps. I want to start a magazine that highlights all indie comics and let the people decide. Anybody want to help me with that? And unendorsed. Totally transparent and unendorsed. There, that's what I want to do. I got the volume off, but I'm watching or I'm looking in the chat. I'm just saying, I don't care what they're saying. I'm just in the chat of the umbrella guy right now. He's or I probably should make a video, and maybe if I say this, maybe they'll stop. But it seems like as soon as I start a podcast, these other guys are starting podcasts. So, you know, whatever. I'll just, it's no big deal. My channel's growing anyway. My channel's doing nothing but growing. And I thank you. This is a big thanks to my supporters that you care, that you actually care, that you're real people that actually care about an independent comic artist. I'm trying to make big waves because I know that I have a lot to contribute to comics. That's all. And I'm not here to ask permission, man. I'm here to fucking do comic books, man. I'm sick of letting other people take the wheel to you know, and just destroy comics. So here's the you can see I'm getting that SUV right in there, and it might not be perfect, but like I said, I'm gonna enlarge. I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do it all right in context. Pretty much almost exactly the way it's gonna appear. I might tweak some things, but I'm gonna enlarge all this. Then I can do all the detail I want, and it's gonna look cool. This is one way of doing a zine is to just fold up your. You have to do thumbnails anyway, and a lot of people do thumbnails this size. So, you know what I mean? Just fold up your 8.5 by 11 copier paper and go to town, and basically do all your thumbnails. This is easier for me now because I have the comic pretty much already done. I'm just tweaking it to my liking now. So I got to show him coming into the. I have to make it clear that he's in a store. Was one of the problems. So I have to have like. I think I know what I'll do. So I'll have them smaller in the background. So here's the store shelves. Look at Brian Proctor. Brian Proctor is trying to help independent artists. You know what I mean? I'm telling you, man, just somebody please help independent artists. I'm telling you. God, man, I'm bad. I'm bad for wanting, wanting people to help, create an avenue where I can go compete and get some exposure. That's it. I just want exposure, man. I don't want anything for free. I'm trying to get some exposure. So here he walks in. And I'll have him. How am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? So I'll have the cop. Okay, so I'm putting in here. I'm almost done here. I'm doing this all live. Give me a break. So this is going to be a 2-point perspective of shelves. Store shelving, like a little market type thing with aisles, and there'll be things up on the aisles. All right, so I gotta make these aisles probably a little wider. All right, so yeah, I was trolling people about fathers for a long time now. And they'd be like, "Well, maybe he shouldn't have did this. Maybe he shouldn't have done that." And I'd be like, "What are you talking about?" Maybe I'd be like, maybe you should read some statistics about what mothers do. I'm telling you, because you're just supposing all the bad stuff on the father. And I'd be like, I guess you just hate fathers. I'd be like, I guess you just hate men. You hate fathers. This country hates masculinity. Even the conservative people hate fathers. Just cannot. So let me see if. So I'm going to say right about here. Okay, so I have some store shelving in the background, and I'll put shelves and things on up on top like they do. You know how they store things. And then, so I'll have a big sign hanging maybe. It'll say like sale or something. And trying to think, like, so I'm gonna need, man, I need a lot of, well, maybe I can do it like this, with the view, the vanishing dot, vanishing point right here, here. So so the character, I'm just roughing this out now, will be entering right here. And I already have this page drawn out. I'm just kind of changing it a little. And the cop will be about the same height. So I have to kind of put his head. I can't cover up the shelving though. It's going to be hard. How am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? I have to enlarge this frame. Need more room. Because I got to fit the cop and the cashier. That the cop is the corrupt cop and the cashier. All right. All right. So we'll have him. Walking. You see what I'm trying to do here? I'm trying to. I'm just drawing while I'm talking politics here. So, yeah. I'm having, or this is these are the store like shelving units, and the character is going to be entering right here. I'm going to lead your eye through the figures and or through the way I position the people is going to what's going to lead your eye through the panel. I think if I do this right. got to do this right. So then his head. There we go. Okay, I'm getting it now. That took me a minute. It's a hard one to draw, so let me just clean it up a little bit. Put some facial features on him, putting his hat on, his little hat on him right now. And then I'll put the cop. I'm just putting where the corrupt cops. So all right. So I got him walking in here now. So you're just joining me. There's my splash page. There's my hero perched up on top of the building. Here's him taking this crazy helmet off. You know, reveals that it's human. Puts it back on. Dives off this roof. Does like a twist and lands down on the concrete below. And that's how this comic book starts. So now I gotta fit 2 more people in this panel. Oh, need to take a break anyway. What's going on out there in comic book land? Anything? Anybody have any questions? Just let me know. I'm just going to keep drawing here. I'm basically working on my comic while talking Comicsgate and pointing out that the conservatives are also gatekeeping. They're also gatekeeping, and they're keeping it in the family. You know what I'm saying? They're keeping it in the family. Which is what the SJWs did. You know what I mean? And they're gonna show you, I guess, comics with no, you know, or they're not, or basically they're just gonna basically capitalize on Comicsgate, basically. I guess I don't know, man. Which is fine. That's what capitalism is. I'm just saying, if somebody wants to I'm trying to start a path for for independent artists that are not already well known, that are talented. Yeah, you got to be talented. You know what I mean? But if you're an up and coming artist who's not well known, I'm trying to start like maybe like a zine or something. You know what I mean? That will feature like independent comic books. Maybe there's not enough independent comic book creators. I don't know. Maybe that's the problem. I'm just trying to do this to see what happens. I want to know if other artists are having the same issue where they're talented but they're not endorsed, and they see only other endorsed artists helping endorsed artists helping other endorsed artists. I mean, I'm trying to open up the mainstream for anybody. Can we do that basically? Can we open up the mainstream for anybody and get exposure for people that aren't, for talented comic book artists that aren't already endorsed? And you don't have to be Jim Lee, basically. Man, I'm having trouble with this. I'm gonna scratch it. Just start from scratch with the figures, and then I'm gonna put the background in because I'll just change the perspective of the background to match the figures because this ain't working. It's not working. I failed miserably right there. Failed miserably. All right, so let's try this again. So I need basically him to be about this big. Background, the hero. This is where he notices one of the police that framed him, which is how he lost everything. Okay, so I'm firing this guy in. I'm firing in the hero in the background. So here he is. See that? I got him looking over his shoulder. That's what, if any, that's basically gesture sketching. I don't have to show, maybe I just only have to show his upper torso basically. Yeah, this is working much better. Much better. So now I'm drawing the corrupt cop that framed him. Now you see how I basically put, you know, he's a big guy too. They're generally about the same size. So, you know, I'm using perspective lines to like see where his and he basically covers up the cop. You know, I didn't really mean it to do that, but he covers up some of the stuff so I don't have to draw. And then I might have to angle his head down a little more because she's shorter than him. Cop. He's talking to the cashier, who witnesses the whole thing. Yeah, have any of you ever done any research on the entertainment industry and how you know, it's all very strictly controlled? It's not by chance, you know what I mean? Like, and that's what I'm worried about with the comic industry, that it's being used to you know, to train our children to be anti-American, and you know, I'm pointing it out, and the answer is to, well, let's not do pro-American or you know, or well, I guess I would say Mike Miller's Lone Star is looks like it has potential to actually be a good anti-SJW comic book. Uh, it's a lot. It's a lot like Nut Job. I'm telling you, man. But whatever. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, people can go around me and use my ideas, I guess. And you know, whatever, man. I've had Nut Job for a long time, so I know I came up with Nut Job first. Trust me. And you know, go ahead. You know, people can take my ideas, I guess. Or be. I'm glad that I can influence people. Basically, that's cool. I'm happy to be of service. So I'm getting this cop roughed in with the character behind him, and then we'll have this. I already have this chick's face done, but let me see. Where do I have that? Yeah, I would say Lone Star is a good start. For like what I'm trying to do, basically. which is reboot a patriotic, like, Americana type icon, like George Washington, basically. My character's more like George Washington than he is like Captain America. Oh, where's that page? It's around here somewhere, trust me. Find it. So why don't we do something that I already figured out right now? I'm trying to save time. Oh, there's somewhere. Oh, here it is. I found it. All right, cool. So what I'm doing right now is this page. This is the page that I'm working on. Right there. And it is getting there. I'm telling you, this comic is moving right along now. It's awesome. I've done the page. Here's a Spider-Man. Here's that Spider-Man. Here's a buff-ass Spider-Man that I'm working on. How buff he is. I'm just like basically practicing, you know, foreshortened. That's just a quick sketch I did when I was bored. All right, now I can't find what I just put down. I just put down what I was working on. Oh yeah, here it is. All right, cool. Looking for one thing, lose another. That's the story of my life. So let me see. So yeah, I already have her drawn out. So I don't have to do it again because she was about the hardest angle to capture. I am honored to have professionals competing with me. They might, trust me, they might not act like they are, but they're competing with me, man. They see me as competition. That's the biggest thing, is it's, you know, they're trying, you know, I guess they view me as competition, and, you know, that's an honor, I guess. I don't know what to say. I guess people figure I don't need any help. The thing about when not helping people when they need help is someday you're going to need help, and there's going to be nobody there. That's how it works. There's going to be nobody there to help you either. Unfortunately, is how that works. So I'm trying, because I'm going through this, it makes me sympathetic to other independent artists who can't seem to you know, who can't get any exposure. There's a lot of good ones on DeviantArt. Meanwhile, you know, the gatekeepers are letting in or the liberals are letting in terrorists, basically. The conservatives won't let in anybody, and the conservatives are letting in, you know, pro Antifa terrorists. I mean, it's incredible. This chick is hard no matter. Every time I try to draw this chick at this angle, it presents me with an issue. So there's her big eyelashes. Here's her forehead coming down. Women have round foreheads. Here's her tiny little cheekbones, tiny little chin. Just a little bit of her nose sticking out. And then the mouth. I don't know if I think I have to show some of her mouth. Might have to look up some reference for this, but she's kind of looking down too much now. See, I finally got it looking right. She's looking down too much. I'm trying to put this. I'm almost done here. I'm almost done. It's got to be evident that it's a chick. I don't know how to. Like it for some reason, it looks like a guy. A guy. I think I got the chin sticking out too far. Yeah, that helps. What a little tiny chin. Just a little tiny chin sticking out is all you need for. Okay, I'm getting her. I'm getting it down. There we go. Imagine a place like America, people telling you you gotta think like they do. It's incredible. I can't talk about real issues, or I'll be I went through this in high school. This is high school all over again. Comicsgate. I'm gonna write that in the title. High school all over again. Comicsgate. High school all over again. I went through this in high school, where I don't conform to either group. So you know, I don't conform. I don't sit around and do nothing like the so-called Republicans. So you know, I can't, even though I'm conservative. You know what I'm saying? It's just incredible. Because being nice is doing nothing now. A nice guy is having a sense of humor and not being concerned, not showing any concern, just being smiling like a narcissist, basically. Comicsgate, high school all over again. being nice is acting like nothing is wrong, and being nice is talking about, is doing nothing. Is all talk and no action. Being nice is all talk and no action. Is being calm, nice, and not taking any action, and not helping, and not helping. There we go. Comicsgate. High school all over again. Being nice is not helping. There we go. Being nice is talking calm and not helping. Talking calmly and not helping. And not helping others. There we go. And not helping people who need it. There. There we go. High school all over again. Nice is talking calmly and not helping people who need it. There you go. There's America. That's America now. I'm taking a small break. I'll be drawing again in a second here. I'm just drawing my comic book vibe and talking smack about the corrupt, destroyed comic book industry, just absolutely destroyed. And so, no upward mobility for independent artists. All the gatekeeping going on, people gatekeeping. Yeah, neither political party will address how fathers have no rights anymore. A lot of the Comicsgate people, they're Trump fans. Trump will not address the fatherless issue. Trump will not address the fatherless issue. That's not very conservative. The fatherless issue is like one of the biggest issues that are destroying the country, basically. I'm just saying. One of the biggest issues destroying the family is that fathers have no rights, and neither political party will talk about that. And I'm on the conservatives about it. I don't understand why the conservatives don't want fathers to have rights. I'm a father who has absolutely no rights. I don't even know where my kids are. You know what I'm saying? And I guess that's inappropriate to talk about how fathers have absolutely no rights because of what feminism has done. And people get really mad at me for bringing it up, and they run away, and they ignore me. And I just don't understand, what's wrong with people. I don't understand why people don't want fathers to, why they don't want kids to like grow up with fathers in this country. Kids are not allowed to grow up with fathers in this country, man. Anybody want to debate about it? About how, there's what, and tell me a reason. Can anybody tell me why fathers don't get 50-50 custody? And why isn't it just default 50-50 custody for child custody disputes and stuff like that? Anybody care to venture, explain that to me? And maybe you can set me straight on it. Maybe there's are fathers really that bad? Because the statistics seem to say that it's single mother homes that seem to be bad for kids. I don't see studies saying that prove that fathers don't deserve 50-50 custody. Now, I don't understand what the issue is, and I also, can anybody tell me why the conservatives, like why the Republicans, won't talk about it? Like they will not talk about it. I don't see any I don't see any conservative female Republicans talking about the fact that we don't have 50-50 default custody in all child in all custody disputes over children. Any of you Comicsgate people want to explain why that is to me, and tell me why we shouldn't make it so? Why I shouldn't talk about it, or why we shouldn't fix that issue? I'm very curious, man. I want somebody to prove to me that thought that women should get custody of out of wedlock births from the get go, and the father has to fight and pay for lawyers to see the kid. I want to know, how is that conservative? How is that helping? How is that helping our country's situation? And how is that helping the family? And why shouldn't we do something about it as conservatives? Why shouldn't we raise a stink? Why shouldn't I raise a stink that fathers don't get custody of kids 50-50? I'm just saying, just saying, while I'm drawing here, while I'm drawing this cool comic. All right, so I'm getting it down now. Doing this comic right out in front of everybody. I'm just roughing it out right now. So the cop looks his face looks a little bit squished. I got to narrow his face up a little bit, but yeah, you get the point. Okay, there we go. So there you go. He sees the cruiser, the police vehicle. He goes in and he's like, kind of, he's checking them out while he's walking by. And he sees that one of them is the corrupt cop that framed him as a father, that helped take all his kids away, and gave them to the mother's a satanic psychopath that works for the people that are trying to ruin his life, because he starts becoming a little politically active, as he doesn't really he doesn't understand how bad things are, and then something happens that triggers him to start becoming politically active in his field of work. And he basically, they're hiding shit that they don't want him to know, so they basically trigger his wife to frame him, because she's part of the network of people that are he met her through. I don't want to get into the entire storyline, but yeah, she was almost a plant from the get go. You know what I'm saying? Sort of. And she's she helps frame him too and take his kids away, the mother of his children. That's how it works. That's the storyline here. That's the story. That's the origins of Nutjob. And he ends up fighting werewolves and vampires and demons and all kinds of stuff. I'm having trouble with this cop right now. I don't know why he's giving me a hard time. Don't give me a hard time. Just do what I say, drawing. There we go. It's a little better. I'm just roughing it in. So there you go. That panel took me a while right there. And so there you go. I'm going to show you what I have done. All right, it's folded backwards here. All right. Yep. Okay, so there's the opening. There's the opening page. It says helmet with cameras on it and stuff and gear. You know, it's just roughed out. I might add a little more detail to it, but then you see him perched up on this building top. Then you see him taking his helmet off, reveals his face. Then he puts his helmet back on, literally just kind of swan dives off the top of the roof, twists and, you know, upside down in the air, and then lands in the suit. Bam, just like that. It's pretty tight looking. Then overhead view, he's walking towards this broken window. He climbs in, and then he comes into this kind of dingy room where he's squatting. He pours some coffee right here. He's drinking it black. He decides he needs to go to the store. This is the life of a vigilante. Then he sees the cop that framed him. He just happens to see, this is where the story picks up. He just happens to see one of the police that helped frame him and like, you know, have his kids taken away and all that stuff. So there's that. Okay. Then all right. Here's where it might get a little bit iffy, but see if anybody has commented on what I'm talking about. I got a thumbs up anyway. Thanks for the thumbs up. Thanks for the thumbs up, man. No doubt. Nobody wants to comment though. All right, so let me see. All right, trying to. So I'm penciling out this entire zine, just like this, front to front to back. And I've gotten to the part where he's up late. He's up late testing his suit out right here, like he's flipping around. He's up on the rooftops. You know, he just finished this helmet. It's got cameras in it and stuff. But yeah, he just literally, you know, jumps out. I'm gonna have the parking lot down below him and everything, and you know, he's just testing the suit out. There he lands, basically in a kneeling position, and you know, it's pretty tight. Just, you know, basically. I'm just basically roughing it out here. All right, so let me see. Then I want him. How am I gonna do this? So. So he gets like some milk or something. This is one panel I'm trying to work in is you know, he kind of like goes and grabs what he needs. How I handled this on the other one is I basically I suppose what I can do is how am I going to do this? This is a hard panel for me to do. How am I going to solve this panel? I guess I'll just draw his hands, but I'm going to do it like imagine like you know, all these independent artists that want to do comic books, and then they read the article and it's like that lady who's basically an Antifa terrorist, you know, you know, she's like an Antifa medic. You know, I think Umbrella Guy was talking about that. I mean, what a smack in the face, man. You know what I mean? That a terrorist who hates the country is going to get a job. And then it's another smack in the face when the conservatives won't help guys who you know, who are being discriminated against so they can hire terrorists. You know what I mean? This country's gone. This country is gone. Man, I'm telling you. Oh, we don't. Well, you know, you're not entitled to anything. Just the terrorists are in this country. The terrorists are entitled, and we're the good guys. But we're not going to help. We're going to help ourselves, you know, and not like I'm telling you. So the terror once again, you know, the terror. You know, you can't make this type of stuff up. Terrorists that hate this country get hired, and you know, people that have good intentions that really need the work to just take care of their families, like me. You know, we get told, "Oh, you're not entitled to anything. You know, you need to just shut up." So, Comicsgate is, you know, it's more of the same. It's more of the same. It's more of the same, basically. Unless something gets done. That's why I'm making us think about it, because I'm not letting this excuse happen again where you know, I'm not letting this, you know, continue. Basically, I'm not going to let the people that are part of the problem that didn't stand up to the liberals in the first place. So the liberals are destroying everything. They're all going to gain now off of Comicsgate, and not the people that you know, not people that. I'm telling you, man, it's just it's a shame. It's a shame that terrorists in this country are going to get employed. You know, they're going to get rewarded. Oh, you're a terrorist? You hate America? You know what I mean? You don't want people to get married and have families and be heterosexual. Okay, you get a job. You know, and it's just incredible. All right, so let me see. Doing his gauntlet now and his glove, grabbing like a container of milk or something. Milk, it does the body good. And even vigilantes need milk for their coffee, you know what I'm saying? I suppose I can write milk right on it too, so that there's no mistaking that it's like milk. All right. So we'll do like a little thing like this. There. All right, cool. So here, I had to tighten up this other panel a little bit. Okay, so here, I'll show you in a second. Don't worry. All right, so here he's grabbing the milk. So he doesn't look suspicious like he's lingering around. See, he's grabbing the milk. Then then so I'm getting to the panel where it all starts right here in a second. Then he's in line. I could just trace this stuff. Then he's in line behind the cop that framed him. Getting there. Getting there. Almost done. I'm almost done with this page. I'm doing a page right in front of everybody, basically. So here he is. He grabs him. He sees the cruiser. He goes in. Oh, it's the cop that framed him. He grabs the milk. Now there's his gauntlet. He's standing in line. He's getting in line behind the cop right there. Or he's walking. He's approaching the cop from behind. It's a corrupt officer. It's not a good guy. Just so you guys know, I'm not advocating. I'm not advocating hurting good police because there's some good police out there. They probably can't say who they are. A lot of them, or their lives. They probably won't last long. I already have this panel done, so I'm not gonna do. I already have this whole page done. Actually, I'm just doing it here again, but it did turn out a little bit different. It did turn out a little bit different. So okay, so you can see now I've roughed out. He's standing in line. You see his gauntlet right up there. There's his fist. You know what I mean? He's standing in line right behind the cop, and there she is at the counter. I just roughed that in because I already have it. I'll show you. Basically, I already have this panel right here, basically. And I'm just kind of, it did turn out a little, this page did turn out a tiny bit different, but it is all coming together now. It is all coming together now. Then I'll do this last panel, and then I'm going to call it quits. I'm drawing pages right in front of everybody, comic book pages. So, and this is a real comic I'm working on, and this isn't an example. This isn't an example of a comic. Now that I've pretty much established everything, I can just basically show him. So here we go. Here's. I kind of covered up some of the detail, like I tried not to, but I don't know how else to. I might have to shrink this cop down a little bit in this panel so I can show the shelving behind him. I'll work it out. I'll work it out. It's good enough for now. So the next panel, bang, he's gonna rough this out real quick. It's a super punch. And so this. Smash. Don't need to do that. That'll be covered up. So he'll be hitting this guy from behind. So I'm going to do a stick figures first, I guess. I'll do the foreground figure first because that's the hardest one to do here. I'm erasing. Uh-oh, I'm erasing. I'm not getting paid to erase. I'm not getting paid to do anything. I'm not getting paid for any of this. If anybody wants to help a single father, that's trying to get into comic books, and the cop's just kind of like, it doesn't knock him unconscious, but it definitely hurts him bad. Like it rips the back of his head open, basically. Yeah, I'm a single father. My real name is Stuart Lewis Hunkler. I live in Pittsfield, Massachusetts. I'm a single father. Uh, uh, I don't know where my children are. I haven't seen them in like 15 years. Uh, I'm trying to get a career going in comics. It's very hard to break in and make money. You know what I mean? I've done comics I've sold my comics before, but I can't do them on. I haven't had one that I've wanted to, actually go through with and spend the money on. Just gonna really rough this out here. Okay, so I got the cop. The cop is the corrupt officer's falling. I should have his head down more actually, because that's the whole thing. Is he gets hit in the back of the head. So you can see there, I'm getting in some details. And then I'll just have Nutjob just basically bent. Like he put everything he had, he put pretty much everything he had into it. So he's just like, can't make his head too big because he's in the background. Not far. Yeah, anybody who thinks I've ruined my life by, well, if I can't if I can't criticize, it's like, oh, we're here to make our fans happy. Oh, okay, well, I'm a single father. I'm trying to get into comic books. You know what I mean? Oh, well, not you. Oh, you're fighting for single fathers. Oh, well, not you. You know what I mean? It's incredible. You know, you want kids to see their fathers. Okay, well, not you. We don't want you to succeed. You know. Yeah, I've been paying support for like 15 years. I don't even know where my kids are. Right here in America, I have no idea where my kids even are. I've asked the family, when I see like the aunts out or whatever, like several times. All right, I gotta do a stick figure. So he's like bent over. About the shoulder's got to be here. I mean, in other words, I'm saying if I've ruined my reputation by just talking about the issues that I've faced as a father, then what? So be it. I guess that's horrible, but so be it. At least we all know. At least y'all know. Hey, don't come in to comics conservative circles talking about how kids grow up without their fathers, boy. Because now you're telling people what to care about. Yeah, no doubt, like the right thing, kids. You know, you care about kids. You want to do comics for kids. How about the best thing for kids right now would be to see their fathers. Like my kids. My kids don't even know who I am. My kids don't even know who I am, and I'm supposed to just have a good attitude about it. I had a good attitude before the fact, and sure, it got me nowhere. Got me nowhere. Okay, so yeah, having a good attitude, being polite so far, and being reasonable and respectful has gotten me nowhere. And paying my support and taking responsibility has got me absolutely nowhere. So let me see. You need money. You gotta have money. You gotta have thousands. I need thousands and thousands of dollars for lawyers if I want my kids to meet me. Let me see here. I know you. I know people are. I know that upsets you that I talk about it, or some people, and you got to find some reason why I must be wrong. But that's just how it goes. All right. Yeah, if you want to donate to my comic, uh, I'm gonna show the money that people donate and where it goes, so that you'll know where your money's going. You won't have to guess. And I'm gonna let people help me. I'm gonna let you make suggestions. You know what I mean, to the storyline, and maybe even help make characters. And I'm gonna do Indiegos